Okay, so Rangnick is in the job now, but when he signed on, what we heard, what was reported, what we know, is that he's interim for the next 6 months, and then he's a consultant after that, and he will be helping to pick the next coach if he doesn't pick himself. What I want to know from you is who should be the next Manchester United coach?
Not Ralf.
Whoa, okay. That's a statement.
Yeah.
Why not Ralph?
He's there for 6 months. Honor that. For me, one, that was positive from United because I believe United 2 years ago goes and actually appoints Ralph for the whole season,
Yeah.
and then they give him the job. You understand? They brought Ralph for 6 months because they understood that the manager they want or would like at the club currently is not available. So let's get Ralph in with his footballing ideologies and the professor, of football or whatever people call him out there. Bring him in, 6 months. That's what he's there for. Let him work for 6 months. Even if he wins the Champions League, wins the FA Cup, finishes in the top four, don't give him the job.
Tulio, hold up.
Don't.
Hold up. Like, if he does something that only Sir Alex Ferguson and Sir Matt Busby have done at this historic club, you don't want to give this guy the job. You guys gave a job to Oli when he just for Paris.
No.
That would be more than Paris if he wins the Champions League, for example, because that is the competition he's still in, and the FA Cup. He's not supposed to get the job. Why?
There's a difference in league football. You understand? And I look at Ralph. This is his biggest job in 10 years.
True.
Since what? He coached RB.
Oh no,
Leipzig in like 2012 or something. You understand? And then you want to give him the biggest club in the world on how many years? You're going to give him 3 years to run it? I don't think so. So for me, take him upstairs where I think he would be more effective. Actually listen to him there. Worse, if he wins the Champions League for you, do that for him. Tell him, Ralphie, sorry.
He's not gonna let go of the job if he wins the Champions League, though.
I mean, personally, I think I choose Julian Nagelsmann simply because he's the guy who Ralph earmarked and pinpointed that I want this guy for Leipzig. Right?
How you get him out of Bayern?
Yeah, can I put that caveat there, like a realistic? Maybe realistic.
The reason why I say that is because I haven't heard of any other potential of the guy to replace Rangnick, and that worries me because he builds and then at the end of the season he lets go and then someone else takes over. How is he supposed to get the signings? How is he supposed to get a team that's going to now be in his identity? At least I know what Rangnick and Nagelsmann had a similar philosophy or similar ideas at Leipzig. He said, I specifically want that guy, right? And he's since then done well for Leipzig, gone on to take the Bayern job. That for me makes sense in terms of connecting the two guys. But if you're going to give me Hans Ten Hag, that's cool, but he's going to be starting from scratch again. I want continuity. If this guy does a good job...
You want continuity with this United team?
No, if he does well.
With the philosophy.
With the philosophy, yes.
Okay.
If it's going well and there's a positive to it, because remember, I'm saying with the United just played football and sometimes with the results, sometimes they don't. But if there's an identity, if there's control of the games, I don't want to just stop there and say, okay, fine, it was good for that season, let's start again. I don't believe in that, So I want to say with either, if you can't get Julian, continue. If you're doing a good job, continue, because... Man, as much as we're impatient as fans, this stop, change, cut and paste in and out is not working for anyone and for any team.
But what did he come in for? What did he come in for?
He came in to stabilize, basically, and you'll get the job thingy after. So he gets the consultancy job after 6 months, right? That's the agreement, unless he puts himself in the job. But for me, if you got something stable, why break it? With Oli in the night in Paris, it was not something stable. It was a magical night. There's a difference. Yeah. But if you give someone an entire campaign where things were broken and he's making his philosophy known to the club, this is how we play. If you pull the plug off that and you introduce whoever it is, we're starting from square one. Regardless of whether we sign whoever, we're starting from square one. I don't want to do that.
But everyone knew the moment Ralph came in that basically, next season United is starting another rebuild within a rebuild.
So what I'm saying is that had they mentioned that with, like how players sign a pre-contract and from January that at the end of the season this person is going to this, I would love if we identified a manager. I'm happy with that. Then what we're working towards.
But I suppose you can't do that because if you want to identify the guy is already in the job, and you can't go around saying for all of us to hear that, oh, next manager that we're targeting is Ten Hag while he's still on the bench of Ajax.
Why is that not possible when you can do that with players?
It is possible.
That's tapping up.
I've heard
you can't like full on.
No, I'm
say,
saying having agreement, like an agreement, not tap him up illegally, but have an agreement.
or have a pre-agreement.
Yeah.
That for me would make sense in terms of continuity, because this stop and go doesn't work. Because, for instance, here's an example: when Moyes came in, he did not know what Sir Alex Ferguson was doing. He was doing his own Everton thing at United. Yamthul. Or who's the Dutch?
Van Gaal.
Van Gaal came, did his own thing. Mourinho came, did his own thing. And the United way was, because Sir Alex Ferguson was in the job for 20 odd years, it was the United way. It was just Sir Alex Ferguson for 20 years plus doing the Sir Alex Ferguson thing. So if you're going to have continuity, I mean, yes, we had it with Ole, but it was weak, to be honest. It was weak, but it was continuity nonetheless. That's why, even without winning cups, he got to second, because there was some continuity. There's something to be said for consistency, Jay. Whether it's Ole level, but consistency helps. That's why Pep is building and building. Eventually, I believe, maybe even this season, he might win the Champions League, because consistency is there. If they chop and change every other day, I don't think it works.
You don't want Ralf. You want someone else.
I don't want Ralf
in the job. Who's that someone else?
For me personally, I love tiki taka. So I would love.
Give us the name.
Decided You're not gonna say Pep.
No, obviously, like, I can't get Pep. I'd love Pep at United. We missed out on him before,
Yes, he did.
when he left Bayern.
As Arsenal missed out on Klopp. But yes,
we're
not talking about Arsenal. Yes, back to United.
Yes. For me, obviously, Ten Hag is the guy that's easier for me, I think, to get out of Ajax. He himself has said he thinks he's ready for the next step. And I've heard from the club that from around April, not they didn't tell me, but from media reports that from March, April, they're going to start the manager search with obviously Ralph's insight and his help in that. And I think someone like Ten Hag coming in after Ralph's work, it could work, because that will be some form of, because their style of play is not too far off each other, you understand? Because if you watch Ajax and how hard that team works and how Ralf wants United to also play, you look at that and you're like, okay, cool, if this guy comes, a lot of players I feel will benefit from it, like a Martial, a Rashford and a Sancho will actually know exactly what is expected of them, because that's been our biggest problem since, I even think during Jose that was a problem. A lot of players were just floating on the field, you understand? Another name for me, which a personal favorite, love him since Barcelona days, Luis Enrique. It's just a pity you can't get him out of the Spanish job, especially before the World Cup.
Yeah.
You understand? Because I can't see him leaving 6 months before World Cup to come to United, knowing all that pressure. And also, I look at the United team and I'm like, it's a young team. Luis Enrique,
young team as well, yeah.
He would love that opportunity to work with young players, and in England, because that'll be like a new league for him. Maybe question marks because he's never done it, in England, and someone could say he had Messi, Suarez, and Neymar when he won a treble with Barca, and a midfield of Rakitic and Xavi and them, So I think those are, for me, the two managers you should be looking at. Realistically, you can get him out of that contract. It's just a matter of convincing him with the project and, him buying into it. Ten Hag, I think that's easy. You just literally tell him, here's a budget. You didn't have a budget. Here's a budget. He's leaving Ajax, definitely. So for me, those are the two guys for me as well. My personal first choice was Luis Enrique. And the reason for that is because of what you've seen him do with a Spanish team post the golden generation, And you've also seen him do it at Barcelona. He has the experience of coaching a big club, and he's got success at a big club with the treble. And he's coached big personalities at that same club. And he does bring that philosophy in terms of, it is tiki-taka. It is possession-based. Chuck speaks about control. You will be going into probably every game bar games against Manchester City, or maybe might even get to a point where you can match up with Manchester City in terms of what you put out on the pitch. So Luis Enrique would be number one for me. The thing that gives him an edge over Ten Hag is that experience of having done it at this level, even at club level. Ten Hag is second also then for me, because
that turnover that happened when his team that got to the semifinals of the Champions League was gutted and the main players were signed by bigger names. Within the space of 2 years, he's back with the same kind of potency in his Ajax team, and we've saw them thrash people in the Champions League group stages. I mean, Haller was sold by West Ham, and what he's been doing at Ajax, which you can put down to the coach and the system of the vertical tiki-taka that they play there, is something that gets you excited. That there are young players, which he's worked with at Ajax, and he's got that philosophy. And man, you need someone of that caliber, either an Enrique or Ten Hag, or as Chuck would want, the continuation of Rangnick,
Or
if he
Julian.
is successful.
If we find a different person, Julian would work for me. But the
If
list
only you can get him out of
I know it'll be hard, but I mean, some people just want a different challenge.
And I don't think
if
I don't think Enrique comes out of Spain, because when they experienced at Lopetegui last time around, they probably built into those contracts that you're not even allowed to speak to any club in the year of a World Cup. We're not going to have that.
Yeah, that didn't end well for him in terms of his pre-contract with Madrid, and then he was fired
Yeah.
at the eve of the World Cup, and then gets the job, and then gets fired soon after as well.
3
Back
months
now
in.
though,
Yeah.
with Martial in the squad. By the way,
Actually
before we
doing
move
well.
we move over United, I know you've got a Martial shirt. How do you feel about Anthony?
Man,
Being
it,
gone.
it didn't sit well with me because I was proper Martial FC.
Yeah,
You know, I'm sad. I don't think it hasn't worked out. I just think the fans, him also, he sort of grew out of love with the club because of also the situation that was going on at the club. For me, one thing I don't like about Martial is the fact that whenever we get another striker into the team, he goes into sulk mode and doesn't do the business on the pitch. It happened when the year before Jose came and brought Ibra in.
yeah.
Martial was doing the business for Louis van Gaal. We bring Ibra, and then they took his number. After trademarking AM9, he literally was nothing that season. And then Jose, makes it worse and brings Lukaku the following year. And then we didn't know of Martial. We even thought he was leaving. And then that season, Ole came and Lukaku left,
They got 20 plus goals.
And then Ole was like, I need someone else to come help you, not take your position. Cavani comes in, we don't see Martial again. So he's, for me, I don't know, he wants to be the main guy, and he clearly works as the main guy, but you need help because players
And this
get
is
injured.
United.
And this is United. We used to having 3-4 strikers in the team, and they scoring plus 10 goals in a season. So I don't understand Martial's thing, but sad, but wish him all the best. I hope he literally kills it there so that he comes in and hopefully a Ten Hag or whoever comes in can actually give him a proper opportunity in the team and he does the business. I don't know how you
I've got
feel.
one more question before we step off that. Martial Rangnick, do you think that's a good fit? Because Rangnick wants people to work, and Martial's not known for his hard work. Do you think he can fit in that system and play?
Yes, he can. He showed us in the last game what he can do for Ralf. Literally, I looked at it, I'm like, there he is. He's literally your best player at hold-up play and playing and interlinking play with other players.
Yeah.
Other guys can't do that. He says Cavani is the best at that. Cavani isn't the best at hold-up play than Martial. Because Martial, the nice thing with it, he can do a half 10. He can, play players in. It's like same thing. Why are you not playing Donny? He's literally your space. He's literally a space player. He's like a Mata.
Whoever's on
Clearly,
I don't
so
understand the Donny thing.
so for me, Martial could have been an asset. We let go of a really good player for me personally, I feel. Player that could have helped us a lot this season. But for his own development,
And also
I'm glad he
there's
went
the-
to
there's the
Seville.
World Cup coming as well, so he needs game.
I understand. I
Yeah.
understand perfectly because he missed out on the last one. So I'm sure he doesn't. He wants to be part of that. Even though I don't think they would win it, but yeah.
Yeah, because like some magical stuff was spoken about Martial when he was like 18. Like he was the next big thing coming out of France.
He was
And-
the heir to the
Yeah,
Hungary
he
throne.
he was at when Arsenal were making the deal with United for Sanchez. I was hoping against hope that bring Martial over to Arsenal. If we are giving away Sanchez basically for nothing, and we are going to get Mkhitaryan back,
She remind us of those sad times and those bad teams.
just bring Martial. But that didn't quite work out. And as you say, hopefully he does revive his career over at Sevilla.
I hope so. I mean, you got a welcome from the Ronaldo, so I'm sure.
I don't even know how Sevilla got that going because Ronaldo does not have a history.
It's
with
his idol.
Sevilla.
It's his idol. For me, that was a proper.
That's a show of love. And
Yes.
you tweeted something about
Yes.
that.
It's
He
literally-
works well when he's feeding the love.
It's literally a player that was at a club and fell out, with not necessarily the coaching stuff, but the people around him. He didn't feel that love anymore. And Sevilla literally did their research. They looked out and said, okay, cool, this is how this guy operates. Let's give him that, because if you give Toto that on the field, man,
Translates.
because that's how Bruno, think about it. When Bruno rocked up all those penalties, who was falling, who was being tripped in the box?
It was the man who was feeling the love.
Yeah, so because even their connection on the pitch was it was beautiful to watch, So I really hope he comes back. That's for me, though. I'll probably cry.
Valentine's is coming. So